Celebrating 30 years of phenomenal trend forecasting, 5 times a week, Monday through Friday. Here's Gerald Celente with today's trends in the news.
Hi, this is Gerald Celente, Monday, June 29, 2015, and here are some of today's trends in the news. What a day of news it is on the economic front, that is. Over there in China, as we said on Friday, when the markets closed down, let's wait for the weekend and see what they're going to do. And they did it. That's right. They lowered interest rates. Mainland stocks are poised to rebound Monday after the central bank cut interest rates over the weekend in the wake of Friday's market plunge. This comes from the Chinese themselves, the Global Times. The surprise rate cut is expected to lift market confidence, which could be reflected in stock prices Monday morning. And you know what that is?
Oh, come on now. That ain't even bullshit. That's horse shit.
It's OP. That's right. Chinese decision to cut both interest rates and bank reserve requirement ratio effective Sunday will help stabilize the economy and send a positive signal to capital and property markets. Experts say. The Global Times once again. Stabilizing growth is the fundamental reason behind the rare move of cutting interest rates and the RRR at the same time, said a senior analyst with the Bank of China. The last time the central bank cut both interest rates and the RRR on the same day was December 2008, when China's GDP slowed to 6.8% in the fourth quarter of that year from 9%. Guess what? They're expecting a 6.9% GDP growth for this quarter. Yeah, bad as 2008. And you know what happened with the markets, don't you? Monday. It's Monday. The Shanghai Composite Index dropped 3.3%, taking declines from its June 12th peak to more than 20%. Officially a bear market. Check this out. The index swung between a loss of 7.6% and a gain of 2.5% on Monday in its trading day. The biggest intraday point move since 1992. The retreat marks an end of the nation's longest ever bull market. And remember, the Chinese market more than doubled in 12 months. And you know why? Cheap debt, cheap credit. And as we wrote, China goes Ponzi. And poof, that news was out of the news by the time the markets in Europe and New York opened. The big news was the Greek default and the promise to have the people vote on the bailout conditions set forth by the IMF and the other people that loan Greece money. And that's supposed to come up on July 5th. Will they vote? If they do, hey, direct democracy. Let the people vote on the issue, whether or not they want to get raped more by the IMF and the World Banks, or go into austerity measures imposed upon by their own people in a way that they see fit. And that's not going to make those people over there that made all those heavy bets on Greek bonds, all of them hedge funds and other speculators. No. Panic sets in among hardy hedge fund investors remaining in Greece. From the New York Times. Yep. They've poured billions and billions into Greek government bonds, bank stocks, and other investment gamblers that may lose big. So what's going to happen with Greece? I don't know. But it's not good in either condition. And what's going on in China, to me, is bigger news. But if Greeks vote not to accept the bailout package, watch that ripple effect. Watch it hit Italy, because there'll be a Greek exit out of the euro. Watch what happens in Spain. Watch what happens in Portugal. And look what's going on in Puerto Rico. Yeah. Looks like they're going to default on their debt too. Some $72 billion worth. Puerto Rico has no easy path out of its latest debt crisis. Credit rating companies this week expect the island's electricity provider, which has borrowed $9 billion, to miss a payment to creditors in what would be one of the largest municipal defaults ever. And it just keeps going on. So, remember, these Puerto Rican bonds, yeah, a lot of people own them in the States. That's right, municipal bonds. They're packaged right in there. And the United States says they're not going to bail out Puerto Rico. And by the way, Puerto Rico's population has fallen 4.7% since 2010. At the same time, the U.S. population grew 3%. So, goes back to the other story, that migration trend, or immigration when they come in. The entire world is being destabilized through wars and economy, and we're seeing the fallout now. Unemployment in Puerto Rico is at 12%. Fewer than half of all civilians are in the labor force. Economists say a bloated welfare state discourages work. The share of working-age population on disability is nearly 50% higher than in any of the 50 states. So, you can see where this is going. Not a happy ending. U.S. stocks plunge nearly 2% or more on Monday, with the Dow and S&P wiping out gains for the year on escalating tensions between Greece and its creditors. Again, not a peep about what's going on in China. All of the focus has been on that. The NASDAQ composite fell 120 points to end below 5,000. You know the last time Dow hit 5,000 before it just went up a little while ago? It was in March of 2000. So adjusted for inflation, 5,000 is not a big number. And by the way, TrendsJournal subscribers that have been subscribing since way back then will remember in October of 1999, we had forecast a dot-com bust by the second quarter of 2000, and it did. Stocks extended losses in late afternoon trade, as Greek Prime Minister said. The stronger the rejection of the creditor deal, the stronger the Greek hand in the talks. He added that the aim of the referendum is to bring continuation of negotiations with leaders. Oh, and our Treasury Secretary, Mr. Liu, he got on the phone and told the Greek Prime Minister they better make a deal. Wow, that'll have him shaking in his boots. Empty talk. Because all this is one big Ponzi scheme. From the weekend Financial Times, mergers drive next leg of U.S. stock rally. A boom in mergers and acquisitions is taking over from share buybacks as the driving force behind U.S. equity markets as companies seek growth amid continued low interest rates. An initial spurt in 2014 is gaining pace with an increasing number of deals and markets are reacting positively. Stock prices of acquiring companies have increased in 66.3% of the deals, worth more than $1 billion in the U.S. this year. So there you got it. It's all one big phony game. Low interest rates, first the stock buybacks, along with the mergers and acquisitions, and now the mergers and acquisitions taking over as the financial markets are trembling. Another story of some note in the Financial Times. Deutsche Jane's suspect of lying. Deutsche Bank's senior management allegedly acted negligently, isn't that a nice word? In quotes, over the fixing of the LIBOR rates. And Anshu Jain, its outgoing joint leader, may have lied to the German central bank, the country's financial regulator concluded. Wow. But they also said he knowingly made inaccurate statements. He lied, inaccurate statements. That's their quote. But don't worry, he'll get away free. But they got those guys who escaped jail, boy. Oh, yeah. The big news, they caught both of them here in New York. We added it up, $25 million to catch two guys that escaped jail. They were murderers. Yeah, I know. So are these guys. They just murder you in a different way. They rob you of everything that you have and make your life miserable. You think these guys are going to go on a murdering spree? Were they watching the Untouchables or something? These guys are going to disappear. As a matter of fact, one guy said he was going to run to Mexico. Oh! Breaking news. Another convicted murderer escaped from prison with the help of a correctional officer with whom he was having sex, authorities say. This time the drama unfolded in North Carolina. Great, go find that guy. But leave them bankers alone. And of course, the big news here in the States, the Supreme Court says that gay marriage is okay. And you know how I feel about that. I could care less. Care who you marry, you don't marry. But will they approve the transgender marriages and multi-sex marriages? Hey, how about polygamy? One was enough. Anyway, the hypocrisy coming out of the mouth of Obama and the mouth of Hillary Clinton is disgusting. As they're cheering this on. Oh, they've even changed the colors of the American flag. No longer red, white, and blue. It's a rainbow. And as I said, I could care less. God bless them. Whatever people want to do, that's their business. But here's the hypocrisy. Clinton and Obama have basically hijacked this thing by promoting it so much. But this is the same Clinton who back in 2000 told the Washington Post that marriage has got historic, religious, and moral content that goes back to the beginning of time. And I think a marriage has always been between a man and a woman. And then, let's remember Bill, Slick Willie. Yep, you probably forgot. He signed into law the Defense of Marriage Act in 1996, which defined marriage as a union between a man and a woman. And Obama, he said back in 2008, I believe marriage is between a man and a woman. I'm not in favor of gay marriage, but I'm a liar, and I will say and do anything that I need to do to promote myself. And as Hillary tweeted, proud to celebrate a historic victory for marriage equality, watch this clip.
I believe that marriage is not just a bond, but a sacred bond between a man and a woman. I have had occasion in my life to defend marriage, to stand up for marriage, to believe in the hard work and challenge of marriage. So I take umbrage at anyone who might suggest that those of us who worry about amending the Constitution are less committed to the sanctity of marriage or to the fundamental bedrock principle that it exists between a man and a woman going back into the mists of history as one of the foundational institutions of history and humanity and civilization.
Oh, yes, the foundational institutions of history, humanity, and civilization. How's that for empty words coming from another sociopath? Hillary Clinton, soon to be president if everything stays the way it is. This is Gerald Celente, and that's some of today's Trends in the News.